Coming up on this edition of Access Virginia Beach, got snow? Virginia Beach certainly did. See how the Public Works plows through it all. Plus, don't get left out in the cold. The police department warns of recent car thefts. And see how this controlled chaos will actually help feed the hungry. That and more are coming up as we access Virginia Beach. Hello and welcome to VBTV's Access Virginia Beach, a program that informs you of news and events from around our city and schools. I'm Mickey Aceto. Thanks for joining us. Well, winter has definitely blasted into Virginia Beach. Typically, the mercury hovers around the mid-50s for the month of December, but record lows combined with a recent storm have left the city covered in a blanket of white. The recent flurry of activity had drivers scraping off cars and left many students with a rare snow day. Once the snow stopped falling, totals around the city were only a couple of inches, but it was enough to leave drivers with a big slushy mess on their hands. And just a quick reminder for the kids, the ice may look inviting, but stay off ponds or canals. Although they may be frozen, the ice is not thick enough to support the weight of even a small child. Just because snow isn't a common occurrence here doesn't mean that the city's unprepared. In fact, when it comes to inclement weather, the Department of Public Works has a plan in place. Here's Access reporter Lindy Fay with more.
The first thing we do is check our inventories and make sure that we've got enough material on hand to treat the storm. Then we monitor the news to find out just how bad this storm is going to be. Is it going to be an ice storm where we can just spread salt and sand, or is it going to be a major event?
When winter conditions do hit our area, crews work hard to clear the streets safely and quickly.
We have a snow removal plan which basically breaks the city down into 4 sectors, and we prioritize the streets in those sectors based upon volume of traffic, speed of traffic.
The goal during any snowstorm is to have main arteries passable for emergency vehicles.
We have our prioritized list of roads require about 720 miles of road that are primary collectors and arterials that need to be addressed up front. And then we have about another 400 miles of roadway that is a lesser priority, but nonetheless we won't stop until those are cleared. So it's a huge effort and requires a lot of coordination.
Keep in mind residential streets are not cleared by the city.
If we did get into neighborhoods, there's always parked cars on the curbs. We would always be windrowing snow up on driveways, which would inhibit people from leaving their driveways. So, and additionally, the city just doesn't have the resources.
The Landscape Management Division of Parks and Recreation is responsible for shoveling and salting all municipal buildings throughout the city, including public schools.
The Highway Division of Public Works has about 30 trucks that are equipped with spreaders or plows. VDOT is responsible for clearing the interstates and ramps. Old Man Winter is obviously making his presence known, and for many that means cold mornings and even colder vehicles. But before you start up your car and head back inside while it warms, the police department wants to remind you that there are some Scrooges out there who will drive off with your car. Here's this month's crime prevention tip.
It takes desire, ability, and opportunity for a criminal to take advantage of you. Eliminating the opportunity is your first step toward protecting yourself. Every year, hundreds of vehicles are stolen in Virginia Beach, and many thefts are due to cars being left running unattended or by leaving the keys inside. To prevent yourself from being an easy target for crime, roll up your windows and lock your doors. Park in well-lit areas. Never leave children alone in a car. And always take your keys with you. The time it takes for you to go into a convenience store is more than enough time for a thief to steal your car and everything in it. Above all, be alert. Protect yourself. Don't give crime a chance. This tip of the month is brought to you by the Virginia Beach Police Department's Crime Prevention Unit.
During the month of November and October, more than 100 automobiles were reported stolen in Virginia Beach, and in almost half of those cases, the owners had left their keys in the vehicle. And all this cold weather isn't just affecting us, it's affecting our four-legged friends too. Rapid water temperature drops along the Atlantic coast have led to widespread turtle strandings. Sea turtles have been washing up along the shores, suffering from a type of hypothermia called cold stunning. The Virginia Aquarium Stranding Response Team is leading the rescue effort. So if you see one of these animals stranded on the beach, call 437-6159. 11% of the community is considered disabled, and that's a number that will continue to grow as citizens get older. The City of Virginia Beach is committed to providing services to those disabled, but they can't do it without the help of many volunteers. And as a way of saying thanks to those selfless volunteers, the Mayor's Committee for Persons with Disabilities recently held their annual awards program.
This honors people who have committed to working with people with disabilities in some way. Either they've made an impact in someone's life, or they've impacted the community as a whole.
In all, 4 groups were honored for their hard work, including the Barker family, who has donated countless hours to SkillQuest, a program that provides training and support services for adults with intellectual disabilities.
My husband and I have always volunteered since our sons were small, starting in the school system. And as they became adults and went into SkillQuest services, we continued to volunteer.
The annual program is a small way to give back to those who make a difference.
This is a great honor for my husband and I. We feel very honored to in doing this. We like to volunteer when we can.
Members of the committee are appointed by the mayor. Their meetings are open to the public and are held every 3rd Thursday of the month. Log on to vbgov.com for more information. While many youngsters were busy wondering what they'd be getting for Christmas, students at Landstown High School were busy giving this holiday season. It was controlled chaos in the cafeteria at Landstown High School.
I'm putting cans in these bags for the food drive.
As hundreds of students created a sea of helping hands to fill the stomachs of the hungry during the school's 11th annual Community Service Project.
We're here for Operation Blessing. We're filling up the bags for people for the holidays. And Landstown High School loves doing this. They do it every year.
From macaroni to sweet potatoes, thousands of pounds of food was packaged for the needy.
They had peas, green beans, cookies, and all different types of stuff.
And thanks to some hard work from these students, more than 500 local families will receive a bag of food for the holidays.
During the holidays, it's all about family and knowing that, people care, and it shows that, our community cares.
Operation Blessing is a nonprofit organization based in Virginia Beach. Landstown High has partnered with them since 2001, and over the past 11 years, the school has provided over 300,000 pounds of food to families in the city. Coming up next on this edition of Access Virginia Beach, see how the school division is helping out students in need. Plus, the numbers are out, and it was a successful summer for Virginia Beach. We'll bring you the details. That and more are coming up next.
Virginia Beach Police receive 200,000 calls for service a year. Unfortunately, many of those calls turn out to be a false alarm from businesses and homes protected by automated systems. To reduce the number of false alarm calls, the City of Virginia Beach has adopted 2 new laws. The first requires all Virginia Beach businesses and homeowners with monitored security systems to register with the police. The second regulation establishes a fee for excessive false alarms. Security system users will be allowed 2 false alarms that bring police response. The third and any subsequent false alarm will result in a fee of $150 for homeowners and $250 for businesses. Failing to register or pay false alarm response fees may place the location in a no-response category, meaning police units may not respond to future alarms until that location is compliant. To register, download and print out the form and then mail it in. Registration of alarm systems provides officers with valuable information about the location. For more information, contact the Virginia Beach False Alarm Reduction Unit at 385-1739 or email fau@vbgov.com.
Welcome back to Access Virginia Beach. I'm Mickey Aceto. Virginia Beach has been in the tourism business since the 1800s, and it has continued to grow each year, rapidly becoming one of the East Coast's most popular tourist destinations. And although tough economic times have had an impact on the trade nationwide, our city recently received some good news.
We had a record summer in terms of taxes on lodging, which include hotels, cottages, and campgrounds. And that was for June, July, and August. And so that was a very positive outcome, especially in these tough economic times. And I would say that we're probably one of the few vacation destinations in the country to show an increase.
Tax receipts also showed increases in other citywide revenues: restaurant sales, amusement sales, participatory sports, and retail sales. But attracting business in the winter months helps to make the city a year-round destination.
I've been very fortunate because we have broadened out our markets on a year-round basis that we market to. Our convention business is extremely important to us, as well as sports marketing. For instance, in the convention center this year, in this month of December, we had the U.S. Track and Field Association National Meeting, we had National Head Start, and we had another convention in. All these total 4,500 delegates at a time where obviously we could really enjoy that type of business.
Hoteliers at the resort are hoping the increase in taxable lodging will promote another successful season.
Most convention and visitors bureaus in the country do have some type of dedicated funding source to help with marketing. And the benefit to that is when times are good or you show an increase, that additional money that's generated goes back for additional marketing to support the tourism industry.
Perhaps not visible on the surface, but one huge benefit created from tourism: jobs. More than 11,000 jobs are created because of the tourism industry. At the end of the school day, most students take the bus home to their families. But unfortunately, for a growing number, this is no longer an option because they have no place to call home. In fact, during the last school year, nearly 500 students were homeless in Virginia Beach. The school division recognizes there is a problem and offers many solutions.
One of the primary things that we're going to do is remove the barriers so that students who are homeless have equal opportunity to students who aren't homeless.
Legislation mandates that homeless students have the right to attend their school of origin. The school division's Social Work Services Department steps in to help.
With school social work services, I have one social worker, B.J. McGrath, and it's her primary responsibility to work with our homeless population. She attends many of the interfaith meetings with the faith community and works to really bring those resources together for the students that we serve. She also is our primary person that does all the coordination for transportation to make sure that the kids are getting back and forth to school if they're no longer residing in their regular bus area.
But they can't do it alone. Faith organizations also lend a helping hand.
We respond basically in three important ways. Number one, we help out with food pantry, which you see around here. The other thing we do is with school supplies. We have drives throughout our church, and friends in the area help us with buying school supplies, bringing them, and we distribute them to the students appropriately. The other way is with emergency assistance. People who are homeless don't have a place to stay, so we are in a position for people to come by and apply for help that we provide on a very limited basis, but we do try to help.
Community organizations help out with school supplies.
Other things that we do with the barriers is school supplies, and we get lots of donations every year for school supplies for the kids. This year we had a donation of over 500 backpacks from the Virginia Beach Schools Federal Credit Union, which was a great addition and help.
Rides to and from school takes coordination from the department and includes using HRT and other methods of transportation.
Currently, we have a contract with HRTI, which is a taxi cab company that operates several cab companies throughout the region. And they work very well with our students. We've been very, very pleased with the services they've been able to provide. They really take ownership of the kids, just like our school bus drivers do.
Homeless residences, including the Seton Youth Shelter, provide huge services.
Seton Youth Shelters comes in is we can call them, and oftentimes the student presents themselves at the guidance office. And David Mount from Seton Youth Shelters will actually go and pick up the student and sometimes be able to bring them into their program, give them a place to stay, and at least for a night or two, and work on some programs of what's going to get them the most stable. How are they going to be able to continue in school?
Maintaining good grades is important to all students. After-school tutoring is another service that is provided.
With the shelters, with Seton Youth Shelters and Samaritan House, we have a lot of the high schoolers, and we have teachers that come in and work with those students to help with their homework, help with assignments, making sure that they are communicating with the teachers. Sometimes they have a parent that's there that is checking, but they're too concerned with housing and with basic needs, and so sometimes the schoolwork gets off to the side. So that's what we bring to it, is again with the bridges and removing those barriers so that they can really work on their schoolwork.
Tightening economic times keeps the social work services unit busy, but it's an important task and most definitely a worthwhile one. If you would like to help homeless students, call 263-2300 or send an email to the address listed on your screen. Middle and high school parents and students attended the open house and planning ahead sessions held last week at the Advanced Technology Center.
Welcome to Marketing Management at Town Center.
Well, tonight we're conducting our annual open house for middle and high school students, trying to explain to them and show them what the ATC, the Advanced Technology Center, is all about, what we have to offer students, and what it can mean to them in their futures.
Students had a chance to check out classes, meet one-on-one with teachers, and learn exactly what the ATC has to offer.
Our audience this evening is all students, Virginia Beach City Public School students, grades 6 through 11. That's about 34,000 students that we've invited to come out this evening and learn about our programs.
1- and 2-year programs are available at the center. Preparing students for the future is a primary goal of the school division.
Well, when they get out here this evening, they're going to be able to take advantage of some planning ahead sessions where they can learn what they need to do to prepare to apply and eventually attend the Advanced Technology Center. They'll also be able to visit our classrooms and meet with teachers and learn about those programs. We've got some great programs here, and you really don't get a good picture of what we have to offer here if you're not actually visiting the programs and meeting with the instructors.
Despite the bad weather, the open house was well attended. Keep in mind the registration deadline is January 21st, 2011. And while we're talking about open houses, several of the school division's advanced and academic programs are rolling out the welcome mat for parents and students. Now's your chance to find out more about the variety of programs Beach Schools has to offer. During the month of January, each school will be hosting an open house. Find out firsthand what each academy has to offer and talk one-on-one with instructors. Dates, times, and locations are listed on your screen. The application deadline for all programs is Tuesday, February 1st. You can pick up applications at every middle and high school or online at vbschools.com. There are 5 academies and 2 high school advanced academic programs in the division. Let's take an in-depth look at the Legal Studies Academy at First Colonial High School.
What the world needs is another good lawyer, or maybe a few, and the Legal Studies Academy at First Colonial High School provides students who have an interest in the law, law-related fields, and legal and ethical issues the opportunity to extend their knowledge beyond the typical high school program. The Academy offers students the opportunity to embrace not only an academic curriculum that will prepare them for post-secondary education, but also will allow them career exploration within the area of legal studies. The courses of studies are extended through field trips and guest speakers. Want to know what it's like to work for the FBI and the Secret Service? Would you be interested to hear how a federal prosecutor prepares for a trial? How about sitting in on a real law school class or attending a mock trial conference at Harvard? These are just a few of the guest speakers and field trips you will experience in the Academy. Students will have the opportunity for hands-on experience through criminal investigations and mock trials in our courtroom. They're transformed into attorneys, forensic scientists, police officers, judges, and court reporters right here at First Colonial. What a great way to spend the school day. Through Academy partnerships with law firms, police departments, and other businesses and government agencies, students, through their Academy career, will have many opportunities to interact with professionals. All Academy participants will have the opportunity to complete a legal internship. It is a one-of-a-kind experience that gives students a glimpse of what it's like to work in a professional environment.
I think the first thing they get is actual real-life experience, something that they can take with them beyond the four walls that we have here in the Academy. I think it teaches them how to rely on themselves, how to set deadlines, how to manage time, how to stay organized, all concepts that they will have to use when they're in college and even in the workforce.
The Academy has a civics-minded purpose, and thus it's natural that our students are engaged in the community. All Academy students perform 200 hours of community service prior to graduation. Giving back to the community provides great training for our future leaders.
The Legal Studies Academy has shaped me in and out. It's taught me so many life lessons. It's taught me to be a stronger, more independent person. It's taught me to never to give up and to always try and succeed and to do what I want to do. And it's helped me decide what I want to do in college. I want to become a forensic anthropologist, and it's just helped me with so many great things.
So if you have a passion for the law and want to experience firsthand what it's like to participate in trials, debates, and criminal investigations, check out the Legal Studies Academy at First Colonial.
And just a reminder, the deadline to apply for all programs is Tuesday, February 1st. Every child knows that you'd better be good or Santa Claus might not come to town.
Merry Christmas!
Seatac is one of our feeder schools, and it's an excellent opportunity for our National Honor Society kid to interact with the kids and spread the spirit of Christmas.
The basketball team, drama club, as well as the orchestra and choral teams from First Colonial High School helped make the day a merry one.
We're delivering the gifts to K through 5th graders and doing crafts with them and being Christmas elves to get them in the Christmas spirit, get them excited about Christmas on Saturday.
Could be, and the children say you could laugh and play just the same as you and
Today we want to spread the spirit of Santa with all the younger kids. We want to make ornaments with them. We're going to bring coloring books and food and a bunch of treats for all of them to bring home, and they have little goodies in all the bags like bubbles. And it's basically just, to spread Christmas around to everybody, reaching from us and to the little kids and the teachers in the classrooms.
400 goodie bags filled with treats and school supplies were handed out. And how could we close the story without saying those magical words of the season?
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
In the end, it was a day full of smiling faces and wonderful deeds, which helped make the season bright. And for one jolly fellow, it was time to get ready for a busy worldwide journey. And with that, we've come to the end of our show. But if you've missed something or would like to see it again, you can view this program online. Log on to vbgov.com/eStream, then find and click on Access Virginia Beach. For everyone here at VBTV, I'm Nikki Aceto. Thanks for watching.